Greetings, my name is Kerry and welcome back to my channel. Today I am hopefully very quickly going to be bringing you my December TBR. December we also have the Christmas readathon. I will be doing a separate TBR for that a bit closer to the time, but for now I'm just going to do my Cluedo picks. And so when I do film that Christmas readathon TBR, there may be some overlap depending on how well I get on with my Cluedo picks before then. I've got a couple of weeks off over Christmas, which would be really nice to try and get through some books. But first, let's go through how I did in November. I drew 4 cards in November, and I was also trying to do NetGalley November. I only finished one book for NetGalley November, which was Wahala, but I loved it, and hopefully we'll have a review for that coming soon for you. It's released in January, so I'm going to try and get the review up in time for the release date. I have a couple of other review books ongoing, but I probably won't finish them before the end of November now. But I will tell you about them when I do finish them. So I drew 4 Cluedo cards. The first one was Lead Piping, which is a contemporary book, and for that I read Before the Storm by Diane Chamberlain. This was a reread, means I can now read the sequel, Secret She Left Behind, so I might be trying to fit that into my TBR this month. It'd be good to finish that one, get through that series this year, because that's one of the oldest books on my TBR as well. I drew the Miss Scarlet card, which is mood reader book with red on the cover, so for that I read Scythe. I was reading this anyway as part of the Last Read book club. We're working through the series, so this was the November read for that, so I read that. I actually finished that yesterday. I drew Colonel Mustard, which is mood read a book with yellow on the cover, so for this I'm using, which one was it, Abigail by Jill Eileen Smith. I'll put a picture up because it's in my study, because that's one of the books I am researching, so I'm going to be writing an analysis of it soon. And then finally for Candlestick, this is a historical fiction. Now the book I picked for this was The Mermaid and Mrs Hancock by Imogen, Hermes, Gower. I read the first 2 chapters of it and realised very quickly I wasn't going to like it. I didn't like the writing style and I didn't like either of the protagonists. I could tell straight away kind of that I wasn't going to enjoy that book. But I've never had to DNF a book that I've picked for Cluedo before, so I turned to Twitter to help me figure out what I should do. I put a poll up on Twitter with 3 options, which were swap the book out for something else or replace it, take my forfeit of having to have an extra card, my mystery card, or reward myself for having the guts to DNF a book. And overwhelmingly, I'll put up a screenshot, the result was to reward myself. And so then I asked Twitter, how should I reward myself? And Twitter said I could have an extra £1 in my book budget. So I'll be adding that onto my book budget when I do my November wrap up in a couple of weeks' time. So look out for that. I did also read another historical fiction though. So I read The Mountains Sing. I can't remember the author's name off the top of my head, but I'll put a picture up of it here. So I did read another historical fiction anyway. And I think my plan is I'm going to institute this officially from January, but I haven't been giving myself any money in my budget when I DNF books, but actually some books I DNF quite a way through them. So I am going to be changing that in my book budget from next year, that if I DNF a book, because I don't DNF a lot of books, then I will still earn the money for that. And I will always try and read another book that meets a prompt if I have to DNF a book that I pick for Cluedo moving forward. So I achieved all my goals, which means I'm not revealing the murder card again this month because I'm doing pretty well at achieving my goals. Now on to the draw for December. I'm going to draw 4 cards because we have got Christmas readathon as well, and let's see how we get on. So the first card is Lead Piping. Lead Piping is contemporary, so it makes sense to read Secret She Left Behind, which is the sequel to Before the Storm, to try and clear this from my TBR. It's on my series I need to finish and oldest on TBR list that I was trying to do for this year, so let's officially make that on my TBR. Okay, 1 down. Okay, second card is Spanner. Spanner is sci-fi. That's good because I really want to read The Raven Stratagem, which is the sequel to Nine Fox Gambit. It's the second book in the Machineries of Empire series by Yoon, and I've been meaning to pick this up, got it out from the library, so that will be my sci-fi pick. Next card is Miss Scarlet, so that's mood reader book with red on the cover, so I will not be choosing a book for that at the moment. And then final pick is Mrs Peacock, so that's mood reader book with blue on the cover. So I'm gonna draw a fifth one. I've been managing to read my TBR every month. I think it's time to increase it back up to 5. I may regret this, but never mind. And so we've got another mood read. And that means I've picked 3 character cards, which means I'm going to draw another one, because that is the rule. If I draw 3 of the same type of card, I have to... Just dropped all the cards on the floor. If I draw 3 of the same type of card, I have to draw an extra card. So we have got The Kitchen. The Kitchen is a book that's less than 250 pages, so that's a nice additional one. I think what I want to pick for this. I'm going to pick this one. This is another one I have out from the library. This is God Help the Child by Toni Morrison. I've not read any Toni Morrison before. This has 178 pages. I saw this, my library had a Black History Month display, because Black History Month is October in the UK. So I picked this up then and haven't got around to it yet. So we're gonna use that. So that means I've got 3 books that I've drawn plus 3 mood reads, but mood reads can be books that I'm already partway through, and I've got a few things that I'm partway through that might fit some of these cards, so that's really helpful. And I can also build in some of those into my Christmas readathon TBR. I've got a couple of things that will fit those that I was planning to read for the Christmas readathon anyway. So anything else I've got to tell you about? For the last read book club, we're moving on to Thunderhead, which I already have out from the library. Has blue on the cover. So I'm looking forward to picking this one up. I just finished Scythe yesterday and very much enjoyed it. So I'm really excited to see how the series carries on. Space Sirens is taking a break now, I think until January. We've still got a couple of live shows for books that we've read this year that we haven't managed to organise yet. Keep an eye on our Twitter for news about when those will be happening. They may not happen until the new year now. We've not picked a book for December because we've all got a lot going on at the moment, and we actually need to have a bit of a chat about how we're running the book club so that we can be a bit more organised with it. Anywho, this was just going to be a very quick video to tell you some of the things I'm planning to read in December. So I've got my 3 books I picked for my TBR, my 3 extra cards that I've drawn for mood reads, and so we'll see how I get on with those. Giving myself quite a lot to do in December now, but never mind, I have a bit of time off, so we'll catch up with you in January when I come up with my January TBR, and we'll let you know how I get on. So let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. Let me know some of what you're planning to read in December. Let me know if you're going to take part in Christmas Readathon. The announcement video should be up and will be linked in the description box for you. Have a chat to me down in the comments, or if you just want to let me know that you've been here and have watched this far, you can leave me a wintry emoji, because it is really getting into winter in the UK now. So you can leave that in the comments just to let me know that you've been here. You can also like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you would like to hear more from me. You can also follow me on my social media. All that information is listed in the description box below for you. But that's it for today, so thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye!